Hello and good evening. This is your boy Von B and my man, the noob adventure, Mr. Elton. How y'all doing out there? Strangely enough, my light seems to be super dim. I don't know why.
No, it does.
Hey, you can see me. Let's adjust the temperature. Little daylight. All right, there we go. It's a little better. So, how you doing there, bro?
Doing good. How's it going?
I'm fine. I managed to stay within my budget on two things today.
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah. If I would have actually managed to do that for the rest of the damn month, I probably wouldn't be in the predicament that I'm in. But so today was a reasonably good day.
we'll take reasonably good.
As opposed to extraordinarily bad.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. All right. I found some some things to talk about. Did you know did you hear anything about the Ben Solo movie?
I think I heard about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some interesting stuff coming out about the whole Star Wars thing. I'm not sure why this is. It's kind of weird. It's like they're trying to let you know that it wasn't Kathleen Kennedy's fault that Disney went to crap. It's a little weird that they're going this particular route. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing to do. Like, why would you do that now?
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Even though this is not really one of the topics that I put up there, Bob Iger discarded George Lucas's sequel trilogy scripts and ended Skywalker's against Kathleen Kennedy's wishes. Den of Nerds reports. Very interesting timing. When Disney purchased Lucasfilm, yada yada yada. Star Wars creator completed outlines for a new trilogy that will carry a story forward beyond the. We kind of know that. New claim discussed by Den of Nerds. It was Iger himself, not Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, who made the decision to toss those scripts in the trash. Said he did not like George Lucas and tried being
Really?
yeah, but he spent $4 billion on Star Wars. So it's like this is a crazy take because one, did Bob Iger make her wear the Force is female t-shirts? No. Did Bob Iger make her constantly poo-poo stuff dealing with the male side of Star Wars? No. Did Bob Iger take and I showed this to you what the original plans for the Star Wars stuff at Disneyland was going to look like?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did Bob Iger decide to not do that, or because it was all kind of people saying that it was Kathleen Kennedy who did that? Did Bob Iger tell her to put a self insert in every damn Star Wars project?
Also, no.
Yeah, so Bob Iger did that too, huh? All right, so the source claims that Iger hated the prequel trilogy and the mythology complexity and the mythological complexity Lucas infused into it. He allegedly wanted to scrub Star Wars clean of that identity, distancing the franchise from its creators' ideas, tone, and characters. Again, why would you spend $4 billion if you're going to do that? It's like George Lucas didn't coin the whole space opera thing. So it's like
Because of reasons.
yeah, because reasons. One of Iger's first acts was reported to kill the Clone Wars television series, a project Lucas personally oversaw. Den of Nerds states that Kathleen Kennedy actually fought to keep the Clone Wars going, but Iger himself ordered it shut down because of its strong connection to Lucas's prequel or prequel area storytelling. There, the pattern continued. Iger blocked additional Clone Wars episodes, vetoed Dave Filoni's planned Son of Dathomir arc, later resisted the show's revival entirely until Kennedy pushed it through Disney Plus. According to the Den of Nerds, Iger's disdain went beyond the prequels. Insider alleges that he wanted Star Wars brand to move away from the Skywalkers altogether to erase George Lucas's legacy and replace it with Disney's version of Star Wars. Okay, so was your source Kennedy Kathleen, or Candy Kathleen, or Candy, like that's what your source was? Yeah, this all seems a little iffy.
Yeah, really.
The corporate mandate reportedly led to creative decisions fans have questioned for years. Luke Skywalker's controversial portrayal as a failed mentor, the death of Han Solo, the sidelining of Leia, and the decision to end the Skywalker bloodline entirely by the close of The Rise of Skywalker. In Josh's words, supposedly it wasn't Kathleen Kennedy demanding these choices. It was Bob Iger himself. He didn't want to glorify George's stuff. He didn't want anything to do with the prequels or the Skywalkers. Why would he buy Star Wars? Because that's basically what the story is about the Skywalkers. Anakin Skywalker, Luke and Leia Skywalker. Why the hell would you buy? It's like buying friggin' like Sonic the Hedgehog and deciding that you don't like Sonic. He's like, you really like Knuckles. So, this is stupid. Source claims in push for Rey and Luke to serve as co-leads in a sequel trilogy, classic master and apprentice dynamic that would allow audiences to see the old hero pass his wisdom. You know, this is some trying to, because Bob Iger is in bad favor right now because of the strike and all that other stuff that happened with him. It sounds like Kathleen Kennedy is trying to push all the crap of what happened with Star Wars onto him to appease her legacy.
A very successful legacy.
All right, so Bob Iger called the Lucasfilm Story Group and told them to write Luke Skywalker on a chalkboard and then put a cross X through it. So he told them to do that. This is shockingly stupid, dude. And it shows you how bad she can't even do this right. The version of the story would have kept Luke at the emotional center of the saga and preserved the Skywalker family's role as the through line connecting all 9 films. Kennedy reportedly felt it was essential to maintain continuity with George Lucas's mythic structure, the teacher guiding the next hero balance between legacy and renewal. According to the Den of Nerds report, Bob Iger personally vetoed that direction. The insider alleges Iger didn't want Luke Skywalker in a prominent role at all, not as a member, not as a hero, not as a bridge to the old mythos. And why would you buy Star Wars? Yeah, let's buy these X-Men, but I don't really like Professor X or Magneto or the dude with the optic beams or Wolverine. I don't like none of them. So let's go find some friggin' person that nobody heard about and build them up and just get rid of all the other X-Men that people know and love.
I'm doing it because it's cool.
The result of that decision can be seen throughout the sequel trilogy. Luke reduced to a reclusive hermit, his death arriving before the final chapter. Rey rebranded as the franchise's new Skywalker. If this insider account is accurate, the erasure of Luke's importance was a creative accident. It was corporate design from the very top. Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy. Dude, this is shockingly stupid. If that's true, it reframes the entire decade of fandom outrage. Kennedy may have been the public face of Lucasfilm, but it was Iger's corporate hand steering the creative direction. one that sought to override the very DNA of George Lucas's creation. It is not to say in any way that Kathleen Kennedy is blameless. She has been the hand steering the ship through the collapse of Star Wars, reportedly personally responsible for the company's treatment of Gina Carano that led to a massive Elon Musk-backed lawsuit against the entire company. Kind of enterprise, vulnerable brand control, then creative risk. Any comments on this? Okay. Oh, they got some people who are actually buying this shit. Lucas, money, root of all evil. You get the devil. Okay. So some people are actually buying this. This is ridiculous. So somehow the mighty feminist is who if when everything hit the fan and Bob Iger had the opportunity to make a scapegoat, given how he did apparently did all of this other stuff, why not just fire her? Right? Wouldn't that be easier?
I would
Because
think.
yeah. What?
Yeah.
Would he be? What? He's afraid that she's going to tell all?
Oh, maybe, huh?
But why? Like, and so it was just like as I'm reading this article, the exact same thing would have happened. People would be like, "All right, yeah, it's Bob Iger's fault."
They're still gonna blame him anyway.
Right. Well, no, they. I find it very hard to believe because of all of her actions, all of the people that she hired, all of the. So Bob Iger wanted her to fire all those directors. Bob Iger wanted her to lessen the amount of the men in all of this. Bob Iger bought Star Wars and Marvel because Disney had a problem with attracting the male side of children, boys. That's why he bought these things in the first place. Why would he then, after purchasing this thing for $4 billion, direct the person in charge to do all these things that they could to make this into a girl brand? Or maybe the feminist who was in charge decided to go against what Disney wanted in the first damn place and make it into a girl brand. So which one you think happened?
I think they kind of sabotaged him.
It's like Bob Iger ain't the greatest, like, because he doesn't make anything. He just buys stuff. But dude, this is ridiculous. This sounds like a PR thing where they're trying to massage her before she goes out the door. They're trying to take all the issues that they have, because at this point they have to know they have completely destroyed Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean that the brand is not what it used to be.
Right. So
And I think they acknowledge. I hope they see that and acknowledge it.
I think so. I think that's what this is about.
Unless they're like blissfully unaware and they're doubling down.
No, I think that this was about that.
Yeah.
It was all about was this is about her trying to make her image look better by blaming him. It wasn't me, it was him.
It was him all along.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah, Shaggy. It was Mr. Mr. Iger all along.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me. That is wow. That is a huge heaping pile of crap. It's crazy, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I think that in a way they kind of like sabotaged him, right? I don't know if that's the right word, but
Look, Bob Iger makes dumb decisions. Not doing anything like when the Marvel ship started heading towards the iceberg, and him just blissfully ignoring the fact what was going on over there as they destroyed that brand. You're the CEO. You got to see. You got to be able to look to be a forward thinking person. If your cash cow all of a sudden can't sell a movie at all for whatever reason, you need to pull the person who's doing all of this into your office and say, like, dude, what's going on with this? How come we were making every movie was making a lot of money and now none of them are making any? What are you doing?
Anything.
Yeah, what are you doing? Clearly, the girl boss stuff is not working. So yeah, that just shows you how terrible a leader he is. It's the fact that he had both of these both Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy, destroying both of these properties quite quickly,
And
and
he
he's
didn't do
doing
anything.
nothing
Yeah.
about
To intervene.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. That's true. As like, the president and or the CEO of the company.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you do have to step in and say, like, hey, what's going on here? Like
yeah.
these were our franchises. These things were huge, and then no
No.
one seems to care anymore.
So it's like this is shockingly dumb because there's plenty of evidence of things that she said. So unless they're implying that Bob Iger made her say all of those things, yeah, I find that hard to believe.
I guess
At
he's the fall guy.
least that's yeah, because he's on the outs. They already like they've been talking about his successor for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Keep picking other look, it's this guy this week and that guy was a girl. It was a chick at once, and then now it's a dude. And so he's on his way out. And hopefully she's probably thinking that if I can get him out before I go and I can get enough people to believe this nonsense, then my legacy will be what will be different than the person who completely destroyed Star Wars.
Mm.
Because we we got Kevin Feige destroyed Marvel, Kathleen Kennedy destroyed Star Wars, but the dude from Bad Robot, not JJ Abrams, but the other dude, is destroyed Star Trek. So it's like, you know what though? Actually, all this stuff actually gives me a little bit of hope. You know why?
Because
Because before they wouldn't have felt necessary to do this because they didn't. She didn't care.
to say anything, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she didn't care. She didn't care. Like all the fans angry, whatever. She didn't care.
Yeah, she didn't.
They did those Disney like the that Star Wars celebration stuff. She kept bringing all these people out. They kept coming out saying all kind of stupid stuff. Didn't care. None of them cared.
I
Now they
watched the
do.
highlights of that. That was kind of hard to listen to.
Right. But now they do. So it's like, wow, why do they care now? That's the question.
I think you put it nicely. Like, with uh Bob Iger going out, then I think she has more what's the word? Like
Incentive?
agency. She has more like
Yeah.
agency to say things and to like, oh, really mark this as her own, even if that means
Mm.
throwing someone under the bus.
Oh yeah, she's throwing him under the bus, trying to back up over him, pick him up again, and then chuck him back underneath the bus.
Ouch.
This
Uh,
this should have been the easiest thing. One, like I saw the script, I saw an outline of the story that George Lucas. Yeah, it was like this weird. I don't know what kind of stuff George was on. So yeah, it would have been weird. He was trying to explain the force, and so I don't like if they would have did the one that George wanted to do. I'm not sure how I would have felt about that because it was a little out there. But they should have did, and what I keep saying over and over and over again, it's a complete outline of what happens with the with the Skywalkers and Han Solo and everybody else. Like, there's a whole bunch of books that all these fans love. You don't even have to come up with a story. You don't have to come up with new characters. You don't have to do anything because they described what these people look like. you just got to make it into a script form and just go by which one of these books was the most popular. You get the
Which that
ones that are
material they're never gonna use.
right. Get the ones that are most popular. Figure out a timeline to match up all of this stuff. All right. They should have recast it with Han, Luke, and Leia. You know, you could have did a just like Generations with Star Trek, where you had the old and the new. You could have had old Luke, Leia, and Han sitting around talking about like how they got to have them doing something in the future, like some kind of mystery or whatever, or something in the future. Plus, at the same time, telling a separate story about what happened to get that ball rolling, and then that's passing the baton. Like,
The way they integrated the characters in the new storylines and movies is pretty awful.
yeah, it's clunky.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and they just like really wrote the characters like, oh, by the way, this was a really important character in the previous movies, but here
oh,
he's useless.
they took Han Solo's initial story arc and just went back to the beginning. So he's back being a loser, flying around the galaxy, getting into shenanigans at 70 years old. And because of his shenanigans, he lost his wife, who he went through all that stuff for. Lost his kid, all that other. They made him a loser.
Yeah, they made him a loser.
So it's like, again, Bob Iger told you to do that, or did the feminist in you tell you to do that?
Let me take a guess.
Yeah, did the Me Too movement at the time tell you to do that? Did it also tell you to build up a shiny stormtrooper who you basically chucked down a garbage chute after all the buildup about how much of a badass she was, and how she was tied like it's the same chick badass from the Game of Thrones, and she don't do anything, and then the next movie like you do some it's just dude. So Bob Iger told you to do that. Bob Iger told you to hire someone who don't not have a whole plan on how this thing works, and have one dude do something, and then have the other dude piss all over that, and then have the dude from the first one come back and piss all over what the second dude did. Bob Iger told you to do that, dude. All right, if I keep going, I'm gonna get hot. So let's move on to another topic. All right, so let's see. Lawrence Fishburne wants to play an interesting character. You'll never guess who he wants to play. Any guesses?
Any guesses? No.
Okay. He wants to play Professor X.
Wow. Okay.
That's not a wow. Professor X is a white guy.
That's why.
Yeah. And he already played a black character in the universe of the MCU. And we are currently existing in a time period where people do not want this. Hire somebody who looks like the person who is on from the comic book. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The original X-Men cast will return in next December's Avengers Doomsday. Marvel Studios also plan to recast the mutant team's eventual reboot of the franchise. Thunderbolts director Jake Shire will be at the helm, and will have to cast actors to play these characters in the MCU for the next decade or more. It will be no easy feat, particularly when we've already seen such iconic interpretations of X-Men mainstays like Cyclops, Wolverine, and Storm. In the case of Professor X, Sir Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy both put their respective clamps on the powerful psychic who sends his team into battle. During a recent appearance at New York Comic Con, The Witcher star, I don't even know why he's in The Witcher, Lawrence Fishburne because the Witcher takes place in medieval Poland. There are no black people in Poland. That's at the time period that The Witcher takes place. But I digress. Interest in playing Charles Xavier. He's no stranger to the Marvel Universe. Have voiced Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four. Also played MCU Bill Foster and Ant-Man and the Wasp and What If. Talking to comicbook.com. I'm a true believer in the terms of Marvel space, whether it's Marvel comic books or the MCU. I was reading comic books at the age of 6. So therefore, you should know that Professor X is a white guy. In New York City, those writers and those artists are talking about things that were happening in the city that I was growing up in. So, of course, there are many characters in our universe that I can relate, that I related to, and I wish I could have played when I was younger. But I'm very, very pleased with the way the movies have been cast. I'm very, very pleased with the way they have been played out. I'm a huge fan of all the movies. Professor X at the moment, I feel the most appropriate character for me to play at the age that I am at this point. And for the kind of roles I'm known for, it feels like it would be a fit for me. So that's why. No, it won't. Professor X is a white guy. Last time I checked, you're not a white guy.
He said that himself, though, that he wanted to have that role.
Yeah.
Ah.
No. Yeah, just like I don't want Denzel Washington to be Magneto. And have Magneto be from South Africa somehow. Like, what are the odds? Let's see. The thing as I was looking at that, the thing that popped into my head was there are plenty of characters. He may be a little too old for this, but and way out of shape. But I keep coming back to Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is a character that was created by a black guy who is actually more powerful than the Sentry.
No, but they're not gonna talk about him.
No, he's actually super smart. Well, the reason why they're not going to talk about him is the same reason I brought up before. That the person who made him is a black Republican. So that's never going to happen.
So that's not going to fly.
Yeah, no. But there's a lot. It is a full character. He has family issues. It's like one kid is evil. His children are just smart. He's super smart. He's as smart as Reed Richards. So he's as smart as Reed Richards. He has superpowers. He's like Black Superman, basically. But he's a well-rounded character. He has flaws. He has all of that stuff. Right? He has various issues that he had to deal with. And I was thinking about this. Like a lot of these people act like Iron Man was this A-list character when Robert Downey Jr. Played him in the first movie. Like he wasn't. He was somebody hardly anybody, unless you was a comic book guy, really heard of. But he plays like Robert Downey Jr. playing such a good role with him that they actually changed the character in the comic book to act like what Robert Downey Jr.'s take of him is. And he wasn't. He's not like that in the comic books.
Oh,
but he is now. Yeah, but he is now.
Right.
Yeah, so they basically changed the character to match
the movie character. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's more quippy. He's more. It's like he was just basically your run of the mill rich white dude who had issues and they were dealt with in the comic books. But yeah, he's just a regular dude. He didn't have much of a personality. Yeah, same thing with Captain America. Captain America didn't have that. He had fans, but he wasn't somebody who stood out. It was how they were portrayed in the MCU that made them into bigger characters. All right. So there are plenty of characters that if they want to make black ones, there's plenty of them that you just find the best one you can find that has the best backstory, get a good director or good whatever, get a good actor to play him, and bring that character to light. To light. We do not need any more race change, sex change, anybody. Dude, there's like a somebody was asking about the female Falcon. They made a female Falcon in the comic book.
Hmm.
Said who we should get to play her. Nobody wants to see her.
Oh my gosh.
No, they don't. Nobody wants this. It's
That's
like it
going
is.
to appeal to like, how many hundreds of people only?
Yeah, 5 people. You're gonna have. You
Five
can't even.
people.
You can't even fill out a movie theater with these people. And it's like, please stop doing this. But they just stop listening to these people. It's the same. Like that's what Disney's problem is. They're it is chock full of people, or chock full of people who think that they are in the majority when they're in the minute minority. It's like, and that's pretty evident by you whatever you put out, nobody checking for it. So if nobody checking for it, you're not in the majority. Yeah, you get a lot of likes and shares on Blue Sky or X, but other than that, your normies don't even know who you are or the thing that you're pushing. All right. Um it did they just had a revelation on like I think I was telling you before how Microsoft been doing some really dumb stuff, like raising the price of Game Pass and doing all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, why are they doing this? It's like nobody's buying a console. So, well, apparently, yeah, see if I can find this article. Apparently, the CEO of Microsoft basically gave an ultimatum to the people who are in charge of Xbox. He is looking for a 30% profit margin on Xbox, significantly higher than the industry average.
Oh.
Microsoft has instructed its Xbox division to charge a profit margin of over 30% on its projects. It puts them way above the industry standard, which ranges from 17 to 22%. The number usually is reserved for companies doing exceptionally well with hit projects. For the longest time, the profit margin in the gaming industry has been from 17 to 22, depending on the quality, while it's standard for most. Xbox is taking a different direction and raising it quite a bit. Amid falling sales and inflated prices, a new report reveals that Microsoft is now pushing for over 30% profit margin on Xbox across both console and software. This reportedly led to mass layoffs and a cancellation of multiple projects. Why it matters. For a company that's primarily a publisher now, it is weird that Microsoft favors higher profit margins over making great projects that could generate huge future revenue. Weird for a corporation to think like that. Not that weird. Bloomberg reports that Microsoft is asking the Xbox gaming division to increase its profit margins above the industry standard. So now they're pushing 30%, up from 20 mentioned above. For context, in recent years, Xbox profit margin ranged from 10 to 20%. So this is a significant increase. The same thing led to the cancellation of Perfect Dark and more, as well as the recent rise in console prices. The source remarks that 30% or above is usually reserved for a publisher that is nailing with all its projects, and we can't really say that the same for Xbox. There has been a shift in overall policy, as previously numbers weren't involved, so it's also led to Xbox to prioritize cheaper, high-yield games with a lower risk of failure. Not that every project has been giving a new target, but many in-house studios now aim for it in future releases. More stupidity. Bro, it's the biggest issue with gaming consoles right now. One, the higher costs for games. You're trying to justify it because we're spending so much money on like on making these games. Like, bro, ain't nobody telling you to do any of the stuff that you're doing. Nobody's telling you to do motion capture for the entire game, like you're filming a movie. Ain't nobody telling you to do that. All of the stuff you did before works fine. It's like we, we don't need 4K, extra 4K, 8K. Like most people don't steal. I mean, they got
8K Ultra HD
right. They got a lot of
and
people who
80p.
yeah, they got a lot of people who have like who have these kind of TVs that can support it, but not it's not the that's not the whole. It's like $80 games. People are not going to do that. People are not going to do $30 a month for Game Pass when you don't have any games. It is not. It's like
So
you don't.
true.
Yeah,
They
you
have to
just don't,
revise their profit margins again.
bro. It's like but this is how corporations think, though. It's like every year they have to like unless you make more money than you made last year, then it's not a good year. But I'm like, bro, at some point, you just won't be able to do that. Like you're not making the consoles cheaper, you're actually making them more expensive.
Same thing with
And
the games.
the more expensive. The is the person who's in charge of Xbox, like the not the overall, because I think Phil is in charge of overall the gaming division or whatever. And they got this lady who's in charge of Xbox. And she was indicating, and here. All right. Xbox president says next console will be a very premium experience and
Weeping.
yeah, state of flux at the moment. Nobody really certain what the company's plans are after another pretty disastrous generation. With the next PlayStation reportedly in production for 2027. Why? Can we get games for the stuff that we have now? Oh, my PlayStation is a glorified YouTube watching thing. There have been plenty of rumors, of course. It's been hinted at Xbox next line of consoles, maybe all that that traditional. With Xbox PC hybrid talked about quite frequently, but nothing has been confirmed so far. Thankfully, Mashable was on hand and squeeze. Xbox president Sarah Bond. When you look at her and she comes out every time she talks, it's like you do not look like a person who plays video games, like at all.
He probably
You look like
doesn't.
no, you look like some chick from HR they decided to put in charge of Xbox for some reason. And just because you wear a T-shirt that says Xbox or whatever, yeah, it's like, bro.
Bro.
No, it's like tight lip. Oh, she did reveal a small nugget of info. The next gen console is going to be very premium, very high end, curated experience. You're starting to see some of the thinking we have in this handheld, but we don't want to give it all away. It's not a lot to go on, but personally, I mind go straight to the word premium. We know that this is usually a buzzword for the industry, uses instead of expensive.
That's
And
true.
yeah, Bond appears to be suggesting that the Xbox's next gen console may cost a pretty penny when it actually launches. However, a big price point means it will most likely have the tech to back it up. And a high end Xbox PC hybrid would definitely be on the pricier end of the console spectrum. My question is, what planet do these people live on? No, it's the same thing when they talk about like we're gonna get rid of 600,000 like at Amazon. We're gonna get rid of 600,000 people. I'm like, bro, if you get rid of everybody who can make a decent job, who the hell is gonna buy the crap that you're trying to sell? At some point, dude, it's like these companies have to know that there is a threshold for all of this stuff. Like, but it's like the movie companies are doing this, TV shows are doing it, like they all doing this. It's like I don't know what audience you're trying to appeal to. I don't know why are you doing half stuff that you're doing. Why are you pitching off your customer base? Why are you doing like why are you raising your prices for everything so high that nobody can afford it? Like you to hit your 30% margin deal that you're looking for, you crash your server because so many people were trying to cancel the service at the same time. And this is a discussion after that happened. So you pissed off your customer base, and then you turn around and you saying this crap. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. If that's the case, I think people will be priced out. I think just in general, like, I think it would be more of a like a premium experience to like play video games than it would be like a hobby or a casual one because, unless you're rich, it's going to be hard to afford these things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even know if they do. Okay, hold on. Man, I just don't understand a lot of this stuff, and it's like, why are you? I keep seeing stuff over and over again, and the only thing I can think of is like, why are you doing this? You're supposed to be the
Why?
smart one. You went to college, you got your degree, you got this whole corporate gig deal, and you keep making the dumbest decisions. It's like car companies are doing this. Hey, let's try to sell everybody $80,000 cars. Oh, they're not selling. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Yeah, $80,000 cars that don't last. That probably is not going to give you 100,000 miles. Unlike the car that you currently have, that's going to give you 100,000 miles because it was built to give you around 100,000 plus miles. If you
And
took
they're
care of it.
shocked when their cars aren't selling.
Yeah. Let's build houses and build them in 5 months. And why is everything crooked? And nobody wants to buy this house. I'm like, well, yeah, because nobody wants to give you $500,000 for your $150,000 house. It's 1.5 bathrooms in your 2-bedroom house for $600,000. It's like, dude, I don't why are y'all? It's the craziest things. Like, it's just everything is the same type of stuff is happening.
Just the decision making, doesn't make any sense
Yeah,
for anybody involved.
yeah, literally,
It's not, it's not good for the customers. It's not good for the company.
it's good for somebody. I don't know who the hell it's good for. Like, top of my head, I don't know. So it's all this is crazy. All right. Well, we got 2 more topics. We have the Ben Solo movie that I'm quite sure you were looking forward to. The WB is for sale.
Oh, that one I've heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of times. That's pretty big.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right, it sounds like Netflix is saying that they don't want to buy it, and they keep brushing off whatever Paramount is offering. I don't know how Paramount or actually Skydance can afford to buy the WB after buying Paramount. Apparently, Donald Trump has chimed in and he would like the Allisons to purchase the Warner Brothers. I don't know why.
You would like the who?
That's the Idelsons. Basically, the dad for about 5 minutes was the richest man on earth.
Mm.
His son is I don't know if he started Skydance or like a while ago. So that's who bought Paramount.
Okay, I remember that acquisition.
Yes, and dad is the one who purchased TikTok.
Okay.
Right. So it's like there's
They
a
have
reason
money.
why. Hmm?
They definitely have money.
Well, yes, they have money, but it's like why I don't know why Trump would want him to own all this stuff. But all right. Reported for years, Discovery is officially at play. CEO David Zaslav is now confirming that the company has received unsolicited interest from multiple parties looking to acquire all or part of the company. It includes its prized Warner Brothers studio and HBO Max streaming arm, which will be separated in its own entity in 2026 as part of Zaslav's long telegraphed strategy to split the company in two. One half focused on streaming and studios, Warner Brothers, and the other one on legacy TV networks, Discovery Global. The move comes after Skydance's David Allison. Yeah, that's the his dad is like Oracle. So it's one of them.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
it's one of them OG tech companies,
right, yeah.
like 80s going into 90s OG. All right, so I mean initial bid reportedly around $20 a share. Zaslav wants $30 a share. But now multiple parties circling, including Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix. The price is rising and the competition is heating up. On Tuesday, Warner Bros. Discovery Board directors issued a formal statement confirming that it has initiated a review of strategic alternatives after receiving interest from both the entire company and individual parts, specifically the Warner Brothers studio. It is no surprise that the significant value of our portfolio. Now, all these companies are in debt. All right. Warner Brothers, Paramount. So it's like, I don't know if it's like a weird shell game or something. How all this like factors in. There's no deadline. All options are on the table. Paramount, Skydance still a favorite for now, despite its rejection of the. But the crazy part is, he is also like, Gunn is talking about how, like, he's giving indications that he doesn't see a future with this company if the company gets purchased.
Oh,
Like, but I don't know, like, you're gonna reboot the DCU again. Oh, and the same, dude, and at the same time, Zack Snyder is putting out pictures of Ben Affleck and the dude who's gonna play Deathstroke. Yeah, he's putting out pictures of that, of Superman, that they took when they were doing the Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's been putting those out on X, and everybody's like, "Why is he like why are you doing that?" Uh, I don't know. It's just very weird that all of these companies are merging into one, and we're getting less and less of different people. Always like the left is always yelling about diversity or whatever, like the diversity of thought. But the more these companies merge, the less of that we're gonna get. Like one person who's going to be in charge of a bunch of stuff. The amount of changes that they've already made to TikTok, right? Like part of the thing about that, about what TikTok was doing was it was calling attention to what was going on in Palestine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when a certain person got in controlling interest in TikTok, a bunch of stuff started getting censored. So it's like you couldn't say things out like straight out front. So they were using different things to represent stuff. And one of the things that they were using was a juice box. So you can imagine what the juice box meant.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the things they banned. Juice box.
Hmm. There is this video that I saw on YouTube.
Mhm.
Trying to remember the title of it. I think it's the death of mainstream. I forgot the uploader, but
Hmm.
basically he talked about like how everything feels like the same for everyone now. Like kind of going back to what you were saying about like the lack of diversity of thought, and the way that different producers make different movies and stuff. Like
Mhm.
everything's especially with all these acquisitions, yeah, everything's gonna feel the same.
Well, I mean, you throw corporate think. Corporate think is not smaller people, so like smaller indie type stuff. That's where you get innovation from. Corporations don't like like they like
Innovation.
controlling innovative things,
Yeah.
but they don't like to pay for innovation. If you understand what I mean,
Hmm.
right? So the more corporate interest in the purchasing everything, the more you're gonna get that thought process of, can't that may fail. We can't do that. Like, but then you don't get new stuff. So like when the iPhone came out or when the iPod came out, right? But in both cases, they had cell phones, they had cellular phones, and they had MP3 players.
MP3 players, yeah, right.
Right. Microsoft had one. I think the Zoom. So they had
Oh,
all this stuff.
I remember
No,
that.
yeah, but they had all this stuff was out. So if a board of directors told Steve Jobs that, yeah, but those like MP3s, it's like a new thing, and people really aren't getting into that. So maybe we should not spend money in that direction. Where would Apple be right now? If
Hmm,
all right.
yeah,
But because you had a guy who was all about the innovation in charge of this mega corporation,
that's
no,
true. Yeah, he went along with it and released it
right. So a lot of corporations don't think that way. Apple doesn't think that way anymore.
anymore. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just basically wait until somebody else figures something out. And surprisingly, is like you would not think that like Samsung takes chances. Typically, when you think of foreign companies, like they do and they don't kind of thing. So it's like the more all the stuff gets gobbled up, the less innovative stuff. But it will give rise because of AI and allowing smaller companies to be able to do more. Then it should give rise to more innovation because it won't cost you as much to take a chance on things. And
Mm, yeah, that's a good point
yeah, and if you're a smaller company, then you'll be more inclined to do so
to try.
because you got to make a name for yourself.
Because I think in that video, the guy was saying it's like, oh, like a lot of things nowadays, or just like media in general, lack a lot of soul,
Yeah.
and everything just feels like corporate, junk.
Part of the thing with music is a handful of dudes figured out how to make a pop song, like like a really popular song. Like they figured out how to make the structure for it. Not an individual song. Is if this is an outline, if we follow this outline and we do this here and we do that there and we do this,
It's
use
gonna
these
be
chord progressions,
catchy. It's gonna be a pop
it'll be
song. Yeah.
yeah, and it'll be a popular song. You can give this to anybody, so we can create new people that are popular. We can use them until they reach a certain height, and then we can discard them and get other people. Because then, like once they get to a certain height, then you got to start paying them. And if they just somehow crash and burn, we don't. Like if you notice, the most longer career people right now are all in their mid to late 30s. There's like are hardly anybody who's 20 something.
They release like 1 or 2 songs and then
Yeah, they go away.
and then they go away.
Yeah, which is benefit because the record label is only interested in the song. They're not really interested in making stars. Just like how Hollywood is not really interested in making stars either. They
Good point.
yeah, they push them, but they don't really push them that hard. Because what you get with stars is you get the demanding stuff, and then you got to pay them money, and you got to put up with all their nonsense. Because the only reason that this particular movie was a thing was because Tom Cruise was in it. So in order to fix that, and this is probably and like a lot of stuff is run by corporations. So in order to fix that, it's like they're trying to go back to how the studio system used to be. It's like such and such was a Warner Brothers actress or actor. They were in Warner Brothers movies. Like they weren't bigger than Warner Brothers. And then somewhere along the line, the stars became bigger than the movie studio.
True.
And I think they're trying to get back to that. So I don't know. Man, but there's a few things else to talk about, but nothing really. Like there's apparently in the Transformers comic books, it's supposedly pretty good. Like I'm not that excited about Transformers.
Oh, they released some new comics?
Yeah, there's Energon or something. Supposedly that's pretty good. I'll show you right quick what it looks like. So this is the picture. I don't know the gist of it. Robert Cowboy Entertainment team with Hasbro Universe produced an adult animated series based on Kirkman's Image comic series Energon Universe, which features the characters from Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals. Joe Henderson attached right. Despite the more family-friendly tone of the original Transformers and G.I. Joe comics, the animated show the Energon Universe is described as broad with adult sensibility in the vein of Kirkman's gritty adult animated series Invincible. It's a tremendous honor to be able to reintroduce this world to a new audience under the Skybound banner. I've loved these characters most of my life and have the opportunity to add an already rich tapestry Hasbro has built with the new Void Rivals. An unbelievable opportunity. If you look at everything done with Transformers and G.I. Joe, you see an inkling of a vast universe with tremendous potential for crossovers and interaction that will enhance the fan experience while staying true to the individual identities of both concepts. Yeah, need to kind of talk about the last movie. So, I don't know. I'm kind of interested in Star Wars, kind of not. I still haven't watched I still haven't watched Transformers 1, even though I can watch it at any time that I want to. Oh, man. So, all right. Well, I'm feeling a little tired, but what else you gonna get into tonight, man?
Not much. Probably go through some emails.
Stimulating.
My inbox is just absolutely not good.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. So, to all you folks out there, if you waited to the end, thank you for listening to us ramble on and me rant, whatever. So please like, share, and subscribe and all that fun stuff on behalf of myself and Mr. Elton right here. Later.
See ya.